Okay. So each state has this.
They can, yes. And they do all to some extent.
There you go.
Okay, now you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the Wednesday, October the 8th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Before we do roll call, we are going to swear in Randy Heilman.
You can say that, Randy. I'll come.
Oh, okay. All right.
All you have to do is raise your right hand and at the end say, I do. Okay. I, Randy Heilman, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the state of Indiana, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as an alternate member of the Miami County Board of Zoning Appeals according to applicable laws and to the best of my ability.
I do.
Way to go. There you go. Signature date.
The date is?
We granted them his reasoning.
Yeah.
The last time.
No, 10-8. No?
Yeah.
Sorry, James. I didn't know.
Start with roll call, please.
Okay. Grant Cage, Sue Ellen Sofer,
Present.
BJ Hunt,
Here.
Jamie Hopper,
Here.
Brent Palmer,
Here.
Randy Heilman.
Here. Okay, has everybody had a chance to look over the September minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, first variance for this evening, Troy and Penelope Tomes, 200 North, 300 East, Peru, seeking a use variance to allow a residential dwelling on less than 10 acres of A1 zone land in Erie Township. And Randy has said that he will be recusing himself from this variance. Can we get the staff report, please?
If he recuses himself,
We still have 4 members.
that's 4. Do we need to go through the
No.
5-person thing?
I mean, we've never done that before if somebody's recused themselves, because I've recused myself once before. What's that?
Alternate for the alternate.
Right.
Thanks for making this difficult, Randy.
I'm sorry.
What's your thoughts?
Me and Troy are friends.
Give them the option, but it's usually if somebody's not here, not that they're
I just didn't know how that works.
essentially abstaining from it.
Okay. So staff report.
Staff report, please.
The request request was brought into the office on July 21st. Troy and Penelope would like to build a house on 4.63 acres of A1 zone land. Should this variance pass, Troy and Penelope would need to acquire an approved septic permit from the Environmental Health Department, as well as building permits through our office after that septic approval has been granted. Currently, the parcel sits vacant. While the variance does present some concerns just with the proposed residential use on a parcel of the size, being inconsistent with the zoning ordinance and the county's comprehensive plan. We noted that, however, we didn't find that those concerns rose to a level that prohibited the approval of the request. So based on the specific case here, we think the variance is still appropriate.
Troy and or Penelope, are you here this evening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys like to tell us what you've got going on, what you're wanting to do?
I purchased this piece of ground to build another house. I'm currently adjoined to that property, and I have a house was when my kids were there, and we've outgrown that house, and I'd like to downsize and build a smaller house, and then buy, another dwelling for another family that accommodate that larger house. I just built a pond And that way I could keep the pond, and still build a house next to that. Just,
Okay. I've seen that pond, by the way, and that is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Is there any questions from the board? So one thing that we do like to tell everybody that's applying for a permit to build a house in ag area, which it sounds like you've lived there for several years, but agriculture is one of Miami County's biggest industries. Essentially, when you're living out in the middle of farmland, you are somewhat of a guest there. There's going to be people farming late at night, sights, sounds, smells, that sort of thing. Is that something you guys understand and are willing to put up with?
I've been there 20 years.
Okay.
And been there 20 plus years.
Okay. Okay. There's no more questions or no questions from the board. Is there any public comment for or against this variance? If you do wish to speak tonight on any of these variances, we do ask that you stand up, state your name and your address for the record. Okay. Seeing no public comment, we'll go ahead and do the finding of facts. I will read these off. I will not be reading, if these are duplicates, I will not be reading these off for every variance. Number one, the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved. The strict application of the terms of the ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought. The variance will not interfere substantially with the county's comprehensive plan.
All 5 findings are 4 agree, 0 disagree, with 1 abstain.
Okay. Congratulations. Get with Corey and Megan Brooks' office, and they will get your permits.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll finalize that all tomorrow. You'll get letters that say, hey, it's good to go.
Okay.
So then whenever you're ready, we can get that building permit for you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the second variance for this evening, Lucas and Dara Love, 8934 South 450 East Amboy, seeking a use variance to allow the construction of a residential dwelling on 3 acres of A1 zone land in Allen Township. Can you get the staff report, please?
So this was brought into the office on August 7th. Lucas and Dara would like to build a residential dwelling on a 3-acre parcel. Currently, a 1,008 square foot single wide mobile home sits on the property. Should the variance be granted, the mobile home will be removed prior to the new dwelling being constructed. And pending approval, a new septic system will be installed and a driveway will be cut in to accommodate the new dwelling.
Is Lucas or Dara here this evening? No.
From when I took this application, I believe they will be building the house up here. This mobile home will go away, and then their driveway will come in here. I believe one of the grandparents lives here at the house or the parcel right in front that they are trying to move close to take care of. And then they will eventually, I believe, get that land and combine it all.
Yeah, it's all gonna be combined.
So would they have to get an easement to put the driveway in across the property? Because they're crossing that parcel.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
Otherwise, you come down here with mobile homes at.
And if that combines into one parcel, if there are multiple dwellings, will that be another issue?
I don't know if it'll combine. I think they're just gonna get it. I think they're just gonna deed it over.
Okay.
So
They did try to combine it. They just have to.
mhm.
Is there any, I guess I can't really ask questions, is there any other comment from the board?
Well, I guess what I would suggest is, if they're wanting the driveway to go across land that's not deeded into their name yet, they would have to apply for easement, wouldn't they, first?
Does that go through the surveyor's office or is that?
Well,
The title.
I mean, they have access to it right now, but
Well, that's what I mean, that's.
it just not is in the right spot. So I don't know.
I mean, they can do a private easement between both
Right.
of the landowners, ingress egress over the other owner's property. You record that so then it can run with the land. It's not something they have to apply for.
Well, I mean, my only concern, I mean, the grandparents own the property, but, you know, it doesn't sound like their health is the greatest anyway, but something happens that ends up getting foreclosed on, yada, yada, yada. I mean, obviously they do have the option to go around that parcel and still get road frontage, but
That's what I was gonna ask. If you approve it, you add in like, they have to have the address where that road frontage is. Instead of
The driveway.
that's what I'm sorry.
How does addressing normally work when if somebody has an easement?
It's already addressed. We're not changing any addresses.
Okay.
can you meet setback requirements for putting the house in the L, if you will? Because isn't there, what's the frontage requirement?
50 feet.
The front, yeah. Well, is that that's a state road or a county road? It's
County.
35 if it's a county road.
It is.
Well, he said frontage, not setback.
Yeah. Do you mean road
Frontage.
frontage or do you mean?
Well, I mean, obviously it means
Setback.
road frontage, but setback, I thought the
So you
front
meant front
setback
property.
to the other property was like 50 feet or something.
No, that's on a state road. That's a county road, so it's 35 feet.
So they can meet setback requirements. Okay. Well, I mean, without being able to see the elevation, I don't think it's fair to impose where they put the house on the property. But I do think it would be fair to make sure that they get some sort of a legal easement, get across the other property to their property if we can do that.
But they already have access to it.
But
Like
it's
if
not gonna
I mean
be a
if they
driveway.
yeah they could still put a driveway through here.
That's what Brooke was
So
asking.
now
This is more
we
of a
would just have to
convenience
state
thing.
that, saying,
Well, for the variance, I don't think there's a need to say you have to have an easement because there is already access to the
Okay.
property. There's not landlocked. If they want to negotiate with their neighbors who's family member, hey, can we have a driveway over your property? That's for them to, they can say yes, they can say no. If somebody else buys grandparents' property, then there's a whole bunch of issues that could come up, but that's a private matter. Essentially between
Okay.
them
Fair enough.
and how I take it.
So question, like back to what he was saying though, if the driveway is put over in a different spot, that does not affect like addresses or anything, even for like emergency personnel or anything? Okay.
That already has an address. We're not gonna readdress it. So
Just messes people up when they're driving down the road and their numbers go backwards real quick on them.
messes 911 up, messes the post office up. It's a whole thing. So no, we would just leave it alone.
Okay.
Is there any other comment? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and fill out the finding of facts. I believe this is the same. We're gonna go with it.
All five findings are 5 agreed, 0 disagreed. The variance passes.
Last variance for this evening, variance 119-25, John Madden Jr., 1593 West 200 North, Peru, seeking a use variance to allow a residential dwelling to be built on 3.734 acres of A3 zone land in Jefferson Township. Staff report, please.
Yep, this case was brought to the office on August 26, 2025 by John Madden Jr. John would like to sell this property for a future residential dwelling to be built upon. The property in question includes a 3.734 wait, and the property in question includes 3.734 acres of A3 agriculture zone land. This property once housed a double wide mobile home, but was removed several years ago. Currently, a 30 by 40 foot building resides on the property. Should this variance pass, an approved septic plan and permit along with appropriate building permits would need to be issued.
Hinkle.
No, man.
What you got cooking?
No, I messed up.
Well, I guess I'm just selling it, but like she said, it had a dwelling, so I didn't know I had to do a variance again to get another certificate or whatever I need, but I've already got the permit for the septic. I just did a new well, so I guess I just need this to carry on.
So you're not going to build a house and sell the property. You wanted to sell.
Yeah, it's available for sale. I can't do nothing until I get this.
Right.
No one's gonna buy it. Well, I can't build on it, so I need this so I can finish. Whether I build a house or sell, the property has to have this,
If this was granted, it would run with the land, not.
Right.
There's no expiration date or anything like that. If let's say 10 years down the road, nobody's built a house on the variance is still good, right?
You can put a condition on it.
Well, I wasn't necessarily looking to. I was just clarifying.
If you don't put the condition on it, yes, I believe it does run with land.
Is there any questions from the board? Is there any public comment for or against? Okay. Seeing none, we will go ahead and vote. That's
All five findings are 5 agrees, 0 disagrees, so variance passes.
good. Congratulations. I guess you're not necessarily ready to hold building permits, but I guess when you're ready, get with Corey and Megan, they'll get you squared away.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Okay, moving on, the last item for this evening is an appeal, number 03-25, Lisa Laney, 1809 West Blake Street, Miami, seeking an appeal an administrative decision against a $2,500 civil penalty awarded on August 8th, 2025 for willful failure to comply with a rehabilitation order for an unsafe building. Case 65-24. We get staff report, please.
Yeah, I'll try to condense this down here. So this case started back August 8th of 2024. And we, through a series of different contacts, made contact with Lisa and tried to schedule a formal inspection. We did get to have a formal inspection on the property March 20th of 2025, where we did find some issues to the house. So those being that the floors in the living room were some sort of sinking, broken, springy. Floors in the master bedroom were sinking, broken, and springy as well. We did find as we went underneath the house that there were 5+ different floor joists that were cracked or broken. There was soffitting missing on the rafters on the backside of the house and bathroom area, and then missing ceiling and ceiling tiles in several rooms throughout the house. So I did issue an order on March 23rd to rehabilitate, and that was sent out via first class mail and certified and reported in the recorder's office as well. And then with that rehabilitation order, there's 30 and 60 days to show compliance or substantial progress made to repairing or correcting the issues. And so on, there was various contact in between there, but nothing really was progressing. When I did a 60-day compliance check on August 6th of 2025, there was nothing that really I could note much that had been done to repair the house. So, or sorry, the compliance check was August 7th. So then August 8th, I did issue that civil penalty of $2,500 for willful failure to comply. And then looking forward, that civil penalty that issued that just 30 days to pay that. On September 5th, then the administrative appeal was applied for, so that was 29th day at that point. Then you're at your hearing right now.
Have there been any inspection done after August 7th?
Correct. We have done an inspection. Lisa did get the floor in one of the bedrooms. They've completely replaced all the floor joists in there that were broken and put a whole new floor in. It looks beautiful. Good job for that. And then I believe you've repaired some of the ceiling.
The ceiling's done.
Okay, yeah, I
I
just
got
haven't
called
seen that
and-
piece yet.
I'm trying to think. The paper you sent me to start working was, the date on it was May 23rd. I heard you say, I thought I
You
heard
said
you say-
March, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, May 23rd, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't get it May 23rd, but it was stated on the paper that I was supposed to, that was my start time, I guess you'd say, where you sent me a paper, but I probably didn't get it till a week later or something. But the date on it was May 23rd. And by July 23rd, we had the eaves fixed. I will say this, the guy that works on my house, well, I lived in the house for 30 years. I had a neighbor, I won't say he was the only one that worked on it in 30 years, but he did most of the work on the house. Once I knew who he was, like a friend of mine, they ended up getting married. Anyways, he's been my fix-it guy. Anything I needed fixed on this house, he did it. And the reason it was delayed, the process was delayed, because I had to wait. He does other jobs. I mean, that's how he makes a living. He had to fit me in between the obligations he already had. At the point I found out I had to have it done by August 23rd. Anyways, he had to fit me in between his obligations he already had. So that delayed me getting stuff done. Like me and my son were going to try to lift the floor. We bought the floor jack, do it ourselves, but when we got under there and started, I'll be honest, until he went and inspected it, I didn't see those cracks. I knew the floor was kind of like, well, I knew something had changed on the floors, but since when I lived there, it never did that. The whole 30 years, I never heard a floor creak. I never thought anything was weak. But for some reason, in the last year or so, like I said, it was kind of a slow process where you were like walking in and thinking, did this used to dip a little bit here? Or like, right, we started kind of noticing it like after you first walked in the house, like the main walkway. Anyways, till he went down and inspected, me and my son had not noticed the floor joists. None of them were totally broke, but they had cracks. Like they weren't broke apart, but they had cracks. But we were going to reinforce them. When me and my son got down there, we realized it was more complicated than what we thought. Like we weren't going to be able to just use one floor jack and lift. It was going to take either more floor jacks or, well, I had Scott go down and look at it. He ended up fixing a big piece of hickory wood underneath to lift. What's crazy is they were all cracked in the same exact spot in a row. Anyways, he fixed that. But that was not fixed by July 23rd. Say that because he hadn't been able to get back down there and fix it for me. He had to find this hickory wood and all this. Anyways, he did do that, but by August 23rd, everything was fixed. The eaves was fixed, the floor was lifted up in the weak spot, and then I think I'm saying this right. He totally had to totally redo my bedroom floor, rebuild it, and then we've also since fixed after August 23rd, the ceiling's been fixed totally. I had ceiling tiles, which those are so fragile. I mean, they were just like crumbling, some of them. Anyways, we took sanded plywood and did the whole ceiling in sanded plywood. Give it like the wood look we wanted something that was stronger than what was up there. I didn't want to deal with more ceiling tiles falling down. So anyways, because of him not being able to get to everything right by the deadlines, I really wanted at least 2/3 of it done by July 23rd, but that did not. All he got at that point was the eaves. And then he got the floor lifted up in the basement, and then the bedroom floor rebuilt. Anyways, that was the three main. I guess my point is I had to wait on him to be available. I didn't want to hire some guy off the street that I don't know to do jobs for me because he's always done, like when I had to hook up to the Bunkville sewage, he did all the work for me. All the pipes, everything. He's done my roof. I had an electrical problem. I had to put in a stronger electrical box, and he had to fix something outside too. The wires outside were so old. We had a windy day in the winter and they were hitting together, and it was making my lights flicker in my house. So he had to fix that. I mean, he's done all kinds of stuff. That's the man that fixes. I mean, if I need a job done, he does it. I trust him. He's not going to overcharge me. He's done it all his life. He's done construction all of his life. And I wouldn't want to. I have a friend who hired a guy off the street, and it was actually a well-known realtor in Kokomo that advised her to use this guy. It was Naomi Eason. Her pictures all over. Well, it was all over billboards in Kokomo. Anyways, this is a well-known person who advised her to use this guy. She handed him $30,000, and he ran and didn't do the work. I didn't want that to happen to me. I wanted somebody to do it that I trust and know. And so it was delayed.
So where are you at on the rehab as far as how much more needs to be done?
It was mainly the ceiling. What was left was, as far as fixing things, it was the ceiling tiles.
And then you were working when I was out there last on the floors right there on the entryway as you walked in. You were slowly jacking them up. They hadn't been fully repaired yet at that point.
Well, he said you can't just jack it way up all at once. You got to jack it, let it settle, jack it again. Keep doing that until you get it to where you want it. Because he said otherwise your walls are cracked and you got to give it a chance to. You can't just jack it at the highest point because he said it could damage stuff. He's already jacked it up 2 or 3 times at least, and we're still gonna he's still gonna move it up a little bit more.
Right, so that's still outstanding. I hadn't had a chance to look at that yet.
I'll have to ask him at what point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think it's quite at the. I mean, it's sturdy, but I'll have to ask him how much more we're gonna have to lift it up. I haven't really asked him that lately. I guess he comes over every so often and does it. So Said he's done it 2 or 3 times, I think.
So that's the only thing standing in the way of having this completed then.
The floors in the entryway, and then I haven't seen the ceiling tiles, but yeah.
Well, I had called Megan, or I talked to Megan that day. I don't know if you did you give him the message. I had called to see if you wanted to come and inspect it as soon as he got it done, but she said, I'm trying to think what you said.
No, all you said was you told me that you had the ceiling done.
Yeah, he also put new insulation up in it too, because
Yep.
insulation was really.
And you had told me that, and then you said, do I call every time I'm done with something?
No, what I said was, does he want to inspect just that ceiling right now? Or does he want to just come, anything else that's done, does he want to inspect it all at once? That's what I said. Do you want to make several trips, or do you want to do it all at once?
And I had
That's
told
why.
her to call
Right.
each time she was done.
My
That
thing
was-
is that
I called you out a week or two.
And he was
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
was
right
last
when you got it done. He's had it done.
I didn't start seeing progress on the house until I issued that civil penalty, and so it wasn't until the 27th of August that you called back in to say, hey, the floors were being repaired. The 60-day deadline was July 23rd.
Okay, and that was another thing I misunderstood. Like when I got the paperwork, I just called Horace. I wanted him to explain it to me on the phone rather than me read through all the fancy jargon or whatever. I just wanted him, but he didn't really tell me on the phone. I thought I wasn't gonna. He didn't really specify that I was gonna get fined after if I didn't have it everything done by July 23rd. He didn't really specify that, and I thought I had till August 23rd, but by August 23rd, everything was done. Except for the ceiling, because I didn't think the ceiling, yeah.
You didn't call in until the 27th to tell me the floors were started. So everything couldn't have been done by the 23rd.
I called you. I'm positive we were aiming for August 23rd, and I'm positive I called you before then. Because remember
you called August 27th at 2:42 p.m.
Okay, August. Okay, was that a Monday? I think it was. The 23rd was it a Friday?
You called.
I don't know what day it was.
You called.
I didn't know I called and said it's done, but you couldn't get out. You couldn't come and inspect it till the next.
Wednesday.
You couldn't come and inspect it till the next week or something.
You called on the 15th to ask for like a short extension and say, hey, I know the deadline's the 23rd. Can I have until the 25th for you to come out and inspect?
No, I think what it was, whatever the date was, the 23rd, it fell on a weekend. So the 25th, I think, was the Monday. That's how it was. I said since.
Right, that's what I'm saying in here. That's what you called to ask for.
And I said something about, do you have to inspect it on the 23rd or around the 23rd? And I think you said something about wait until the next Monday, which was the 25th of August. It was something over the weekend. I know that.
Right. And then he reiterated if substantial work was still not completed, another $1,000 civil penalty would be issued on top of this first civil penalty.
So there's okay. Back
Basically,
up.
I had all the
Hang on.
Okay.
So there was one civil penalty issued, or there was.
That's the only thing that's been issued right now. I explained to her that if there's not progress done within 60 days, I have a $2,500 penalty I can assess, and then every 90 days after that, I can assess another $1,000 penalty.
Okay.
And the $2,500 penalty was assessed, and because no to very little work had been done at that point, and it wasn't until about a month later that the things that she has listed or you have listed have been done.
There was work done, but it wasn't finished. Like I wanted at least 2/3 of it done by the July 23rd, because I believe it said if you haven't shown substantial progress by July 23rd, that was when he explained it to me later, I think, or something, or I don't know. We didn't have 2/3 done by the July 23rd. We had all of it done by August 23rd. When he came out, the eaves were done, but he said that wasn't enough progress. We just had my plan. This is what my plan was. If he could have got to it, he was roofing houses and stuff during this time. He had to fit me in between. I mean, his jobs.
So I can show you right here with your 60-day progress check as I went out there. Here was the piece that some of this had been replaced, but this is still open. There's some chicken
Okay.
wire there.
It's where the siding just hasn't, the siding's still laying in my yard right now. He just hasn't put the siding back on. It's a piece of couple pieces of metal siding, but it was covered up and closed back up. And he also put stuff on the inside to make sure it was
Again,
like above the shower.
substantial
Anyways.
progress doesn't mean you have to have it all done. It just means you need to show work has been done.
Right.
I didn't deem that there was enough progress done.
You
to
looked
show.
up and you said something about chicken wire. Well, there was still chicken wire up because my son had put some up there to try to close it himself until Scott got it fixed.
When is the
And he put some of that spray insulation over the chicken wire. He was just trying to like cover it up until Scott could do it proper.
when's the deadline for the 90 days $1,000 penalty?
That would have been what this would it have been 30 days after the
I think it's 30 days after, or 90 days after I issued that first civil penalty. So it would have been, or
30 days, so it would have been September 7th or something like that, right?
September 7th is when it starts. Like the 90 days would start.
no, I think it's 90 days after I issued that $2,500 penalty.
And that was issued on
August 8th, yeah. So 90 days from August 8th.
I'm gonna when I talk to
November,
Megan,
November 8th, yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I think I misunderstood what Megan was saying. That when I called and I said something about Corey want to just check filling as soon as it's done, or does he want to check like anything else that we've finished? And she kind of made me feel like you said something. Do you remember what you said? I thought she was saying he wasn't that worried about coming and inspecting it right now, or like
no,
I said he knew we were working on it and getting stuff done. You said something to that effect.
I said
That's
I
the
will
way I
pass
took-
along the message. You need to call when you finish each thing on the list so you guys can arrange something. That's
I thought you said he wasn't worried about coming and inspecting the ceiling right now or something like that. It was something to that effect. Because you made it sound like it wasn't urgent, I guess. But I mean, I was ready to come and have it.
So one thing I don't think you guys have looked at so far is that in the onset,
Sorry.
in the order that we send,
that's not an order.
your unsafe building orders in here. It does detail out the dates. It does detail out substantial progress needs to be made and the deadlines.
And it has the SOR in there.
And there's a schedule of renovations dictating out what items need to be repaired. And they should have been a projected start date and a projected completion date. And then I sign off on each item as we go. However, none of that was returned.
I didn't do any. I just talked. I always just talk to him. I didn't turn any paperwork. Scott does have that list. He's marking off. And I was going to tell you if you want Scott to send you. He took pictures of the ceiling before and after.
They're great.
You could have already sent them, but I guess I hadn't had him do it yet because I wasn't sure if that's the way you want to do it. So I should have talked to you that day, but you weren't there.
Have him send me those pictures still, and I still want to come look at those things.
My other thing that I didn't think was right is, okay, the paper. I'm going to be honest. I go to check my mailbox once a week. I don't check it every day because I don't get that much mail. I check it like once a week, and sometimes I lose track of time. I might not check it. It might be a little bit longer than a week. But anyways, okay, the paper listed, the date was, my start date was May 23rd. I don't understand. Okay, if you're stating it May 23rd on the paper and I'm not, if it goes, okay, our mail, if it goes to India and comes back, I'm not going to get it at least until a few days or a week later. Okay. So why is my deadline, why did my deadline or my beginning and deadline, how can they be the 23rd when I didn't receive it by the 23rd? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
It's the date of the notice, when the notice was.
I know, but if that's when my 90 days started,
60
how is
days.
that even, well.
That is how the statute says these orders have to be served upon you, that we have to serve them by mail. But the order has to start the day it's issued, not the day you receive it.
To me, it makes sense. They should, okay, if you're not going to get it till a week later or 3 or 4 days later, why wouldn't they start the date instead of saying May 23rd start date?
Well, it's
Why wouldn't it be like started let's say June 1st, because I'm not going to get it by the 23rd. So I'm already losing days right there.
We
But
can't like monitor USPS and what they do with their mail.
But
I
they
know,
also
we
they
know
also
it's not
gave
that
you an
fast.
extra 18 days.
You
So I mean
understand what
that's
I'm
kind
saying,
of
though? It's not fair if my start date was May 23rd and I'm not getting them. I know I'm not going to get it back quick.
well, but
It
it's
takes at least 2
also
or 3 days.
it's also not their responsibility to call you and tell you to check your mailbox.
I'm not. It's not that. It's not even that. It's the fact that the paper, my start date, there's no way I could start on the May 23rd if I'm not getting it by May 23rd.
And I agree. I'm sympathetic. There was 18 extra days that were given. I gave you 78 days before I assigned that penalty.
On top of all the extensions that we have given you.
I guess I thought when I called him that day, I wrote down July 23rd and August 23rd as my deadlines.
But you also had the paperwork.
Yes, but I lost track of it because I'm unorganized.
Okay, but again, that's not their office's
No,
fault.
but I wrote the dates down is what I'm saying. I did not think I was going to be fined because I couldn't find papers. And when I called him and asked him about that day, he didn't specify that I was going to get fined after July 23rd either. The main thing was that I have to depend on this guy to fix things for me. And if he can't get to them in a certain amount of time, I mean, I wanted him to do it. I didn't want anybody else to do my work.
But it seems like he got an awful lot done after the penalty was assessed.
That's because he was doing roofs and he was done with them. He was doing roofs in the heat of the summer. That's when his free time came up.
Corey,
He's a busy man. That's how he makes his living.
do you not live in the house?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I've owned it. Well, it's been paid off since I lived in it for 30 years, from the time my son, who just turned 35, he was born when I lived in that house. When I first lived in the house in 1990.
So do
I've
you
owned
go out
it
and
since.
inspect like the floor joists and stuff that she's talking about being jacked up, how they're supported?
Yeah, when we
Like a regular building inspection, like it
Yeah.
was new construction.
Yeah, Kenny and I both go out there.
Or you think a month is, I mean, based on what you've seen so far, do you think a month is a reasonable amount of time for her to finish up whatever's outstanding?
Yeah, I mean, I believe so. Yeah, sounds like it.
I could have already had him fixing the other ceiling. Well, my son had bought new ceiling tiles. He put them up, but some of them fell down. We went to Menards and spent like $300 or $400 ceiling tiles, and he realized how fragile they are. I mean, I'd had ceiling tiles in the bathroom and 2 bedrooms all those years, and never had a problem of them falling down.
So I guess there's a
Anyways.
$1,000 penalty coming her way if you issue it on or around November 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. I guess I would be willing, and I don't know if the rest of the board is willing to do this. I think the ultimate goal is you guys want to be done dealing with this. You want to see her rehabilitate the property. What if we tabled this for a month? If she can satisfy everything that's on your list, we can wipe off the $2,500 penalty. If not, it stands, and you can look at assessing an extra $1,000 penalty.
I don't know
But
if I agree with that 1,000%. Sorry, did I cut you off?
I was just saying, but the appeal and what we're supposed to be looking at tonight is whether or not the $2,500 was assessed at the appropriate time and for the appropriate reasons. It doesn't have to do with what has been done since the 25 or since the deadline has passed or what has left to be done, correct?
Would they be able to make that decision as far as like the tabling it for 30 days? Wouldn't that be planning commission's thing?
I don't think it's a good idea to table it.
Because the only thing you would be tabling is the appeal.
Decision,
So
right.
that is BZA.
Yeah.
Now they can't rescind or modify the rehabilitation order. We can only deal with the civil penalty decision.
We could have already had the other ceilings done by now, but when I called that day, she made me feel like,
You still could have done it, and then
no, well, I'm not actually doing the work. He is. He has to, like I said, he has to fit me in between these other jobs. He has constantly other jobs going on. But when I called her that day, she made it sound like it wasn't that urgent to come and inspect it and all that. And I'll even
Hang on.
Well, you can even talk to Scott. No, listen, when I talked to him about it, he said, well, I think Corey, you can even call it. I'll have him call and talk to you.
Okay,
He
I
came
got the
across.
floor here for a second.
Okay.
I've known all three of them
Yeah.
over there for a long time. They do not say things like it's not that urgent.
Well, she didn't use those words, but she said, I don't think Corey, she made it sound like.
He wasn't in the office that day, so I told you I would take a message and then have him give you a call back when he's ready to inspect it. That's not me saying it's not urgent.
Well, I
because it
kind of got
is.
the impression with what you said that day that he knows you're getting things done and stuff like. Yeah, you did say something like that.
I just think we can stand on principle today. We can issue the $2,500 penalty, or we can. I think a strong motivator. If you guys want to be done dealing with this, which I'm gathering that you want to be done with it, we table it. Motivation 30 days, we wipe out the penalty. If not, you're at risk for another $1,000 penalty, and maybe we can get this done.
It's
Okay.
it's just,
Well,
it's
but
just
It's just tabling
a
the
can-do.
appeal.
Right.
Tabling
Yeah,
the appeal.
Yeah.
it's
Okay. And well, I'm train of thought now. What I was gonna
I
say.
guess I don't agree with that.
My
I think the $2,500 penalty has to be, we need to stand behind them. They made this decision because people are going to come in all the time and want to set back.
Well,
it's one thing to ask for an extension because you absolutely need it and then you actually do the work. It's another thing to ask for an extension because she doesn't check her mail or she thinks we're playing around and
that's
not
not
being
that's
serious.
I mean,
okay, you need to give us some time to
well,
talk
my
here.
main
You've
thing
been
I wrote
given
on the
plenty of
paper-
time. You've been given plenty of time to speak your piece. You're repeating yourself.
Well, I wanted to say,
All right, you got
Anyway,
30. You got
Scott-
30 seconds, and then you got to let us hash this out.
okay. I don't think I deserve to get this. I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I've made progress. I spent $3,000 to fix things, and I'm going to spend more to fix things. Why would you add more debt to a person when they're making their progress and doing what they're supposed to do? And I'm not the one doing the work. If I could get up there and do it myself, I would, believe me. But like I said, my son, like the ceiling tiles, I still have the boxes of ceiling tiles at my house.
We're done talking about ceiling tiles.
I'm just saying we tried to do it ourselves.
I understand that.
And they
You've
fell
made
down,
that very clear.
and they broke, and
But-
they did all. I mean,
But now you need to be quiet and let us
okay.
hash this out, please. Okay?
Well, I didn't speak all night. Can I say what Scott said?
No.
When he talked to Corey, he thought that Corey was more worried about the bedroom ceiling than the other two. Like that was what he was concentrating on that day when he came in and remember when you came and inspected the floor and you said it looked great.
So I don't think we're here to argue like what he said versus she said. We are here to argue that the $2,500 penalty was implemented and you had 60 days to make substantial progress. And the progress is not made until at least another 30 some days after that. Plus there was an additional 18 days above and beyond the 60 days of when it was put in. So
Okay.
that's what we're arguing.
Now the extra days, that was okay. We had
the deadline that was the 60 days after it was imposed. So it should have been August 23rd and they did not, or excuse me, July 23rd, and they did not do anything until August 7th. That's what I'm talking about with the extra days. But that's what we're dealing with is the appeal. So
Okay.
I am with Randy. I also think that we should be standing behind the three, based on the information that has been presented in front of the BZA.
by August 23rd, both floors were fixed and the eaves were fixed.
But the deadline was July 23rd.
The floors weren't fixed though.
Yeah, the floor was fixed yes, it was by August 23rd. The ceiling was not fixed. But see, we thought when he left after he told me what needed fixed, he didn't say we had to have all the ceilings done. He said we had to have the 2 floors and the eaves done. That was the 3 main things.
By July 21st.
Well, no, I mean, when he came to my house and inspected, okay, we had them done by August 23rd. The 2 floors and the eaves were done by August 23rd or before. He didn't get out until the next week or something to inspect it. But they were all done by August 23rd. He had not specified to me that we had to have the ceilings fixed by.
It was all supposed to be fixed.
Yeah, but he
By
had
that 60-day deadline.
when he walked out. Okay, when they had seen the.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
Okay.
We're done. We've
Well,
heard.
it's
We've
my
heard
word
enough.
against everybody else.
Okay,
I know
we're
that.
done. We're done. We're going around and around in circles here. So if there's no other comments for the board, we are going to go ahead and fill out the findings for the administrative appeal. So let's see. I guess the first question on here, the appeal has been timely filed within 30 days of the decision being made. So that would be the assessment of the penalty, correct? That is true. Yes. So I guess I should probably go ahead and read these off. The appeal has been timely filed within 30 days of the decision being appealed. Number two, the appeal was filed by a person adversely affected by the decision being appealed. Number three, the decision being appealed was supported by substantial evidence. Number four, the decision being appealed was in accordance with the procedures required by the zoning ordinance. Number five, the decision being appealed was arbitrary.
Capricious.
I know how to. I know what it is. I just can't say it. Or an abuse of discretion.
And number 6, where it's asking for the reasoning, it's why we believe which way we're voting, correct?
Yes.
We have to fill it out.
Yes, please. There are written findings that have to be prepared after this, so that will give clarity to the decision that's made.
So we need to write down for each.
No,
No,
you
overall.
generalize everything in number 6.
Correct.
Your reasoning behind why you think these findings are what you found. And really, findings 1 and 2 are more administrative, so really it's 3, 4, and 5 that I would like you to explain. That's what the written findings will include.
Number 5 is what you're saying?
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
When for number 6, explain your reasoning for how you found 3, 4, and 5.
I need more space. Do you want me to go on the back?
Yes.
You're fine.
I'm kidding.
Nice. Oh. I didn't check that one. Sorry.
So I'm just going to go through these in a little bit more detail than variances. So finding 1, I believe it was 5 agreed that appeal was timely filed. It was 4 agree, 1 disagree that the appeal was filed by a person adversely affected by the decision. And so then 3, it was 5 agree that the decision was supported by substantial evidence. Finding 4, the decision, it's 5-0 that the decision was in accordance with procedures of the zoning ordinance. And 5, everybody disagreed that the appeal was arbitrary, or the decision was arbitrary, capricious, or abuse of discretion. And that means in that case, they agreed with it, so even though they put disagree. Based on the findings, 4, I believe, are voting or believe the decision should be affirmed. 1 believes it should be modified. And because this is an appeal, though, we need an actual BZA vote then to actually affirm the decision. Okay. So it's like variances, I would just say the variance is approved based on the findings of fact sheets. This, because it operates a little differently, there does need to be a motion, a second, and a vote to affirm the decision.
Roll call vote or
Yes.
But you said we need to have a motion and a second. Okay.
So I make a motion to affirm the vote. Is that what I'm affirming?
The decision.
Affirming the decision of the $2,500 penalty.
Yes.
Second.
If we have a motion and a second, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Sue Ellen Sofer,
Yes. Agree.
BJ Hunt,
Agree.
Jamie Hopper,
Agree.
Brent Palmer,
I'm a modify, so no.
and Randy Howman.
Agree.
Okay.
Does that mean I have to pay it?
It's the civil penalty is still imposed, yes. There will be some written findings that are prepared and voted on next meeting. But the decision that is made tonight, and that's the final decision, is the civil penalty is not being rescinded, and I think that was the point of your appeal.
So I have to pay it.
Yeah.
And there's no other.
You have exhausted what the BZA can do for you.
I think this is not good. Could say that. I don't think it's right to do this to people. I mean, there could be somebody they can't afford to pay it, and they could end up homeless. I don't think it's right to do this to people over eaves. The floors, yes, they need to be fixed. They all needed fixed. The eaves were not as bad as the floors, I guess. I don't think it's right to do this to people.
Our decision's been made. So
I understand that,
there's
but I
no
think
more,
it's wrong.
there's no
I
more
think
discussion.
it's a money grab. It's money for the county. I don't think it's right.
Corey, Megan, do you guys have anything?
I don't think it's right.
I have nothing.
Okay. Seeing none, I would look
This-
for a
this
motion
is
to
the kind of
adjourn.
thing that makes people homeless.
So
It's
we
not
should
gonna make
adjourn
me
the meeting.
homeless.
Got a motion. We have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
So as far as
What do I need to do with this, Corey?
what about
Or like,
the ceilings that I need to finish? Are they not quite done?
So we will still work together to make sure I've got to do inspections on that. So we'll get a time set up that I can come take a look at that stuff.